As Eliza led me deeper into the chamber, the flickering sconces cast long, wavering shadows that seemed to dance in time with my racing thoughts. The air was thick with the scent of aged parchment and something else, something metallic, almost electric, as if the very walls were alive with energy. My footsteps echoed softly against the stone floor, each step amplifying the sense that I was crossing into a realm far beyond my understanding. Suddenly, Eliza paused near a towering bookshelf that seemed to stretch endlessly into the shadows above. Then she turned to me. Her expression was a blend of warmth and solemnity. "The first rule," she began, her voice steady but gentle, "the Midnight Library and its guardian must be bound in a blood oath," she muttered. I looked her in the eye, searching for any hint of mischief, unsure whether to believe what she had just said. My heart thudded in my chest, and a cold sweat prickled at the back of my neck. "A blood oath?" I repeated, my voice barely above a whisper. "You can't be serious." I chuckled, but not on purpose. Eliza's gaze didn't waver. "Deadly serious," she replied, her tone firm but not unkind. "The library is no ordinary place, Mallorie. It's alive, in a sense, and it demands a bond of loyalty that goes beyond words or promises. The oath ensures that you and the library are connected, that you understand the weight of what you're stepping into." I stared at her, my mind racing. This was too much, too surreal. "And if I refuse?" I asked, though I already suspected the answer. Eliza's expression softened, but there was no mistaking the gravity in her eyes. "Then the library will reject you. And once it does, you'll never find your way back here. But more than that, you'll lose the chance to understand why it called you in the first place." Her words hung in the air, heavy and unyielding. I felt a lump form in my throat, my hands trembling at my sides. "What does the oath entail?" I inquired, my voice shaky. "What do I have to do?" Eliza reached into the folds of her robe and pulled out a small, ornate dagger. Its blade gleamed faintly in the dim light, and the hilt was adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to shift and change as I looked at them. My breath caught in my chest as she extended it toward me. "A single drop of blood," she said, her voice calm and collected. "That's all it takes. But once it's done, there's no going back. The library will know you, and you will know it. The bond is eternal." I stared at the dagger, my mind a whirlwind of fear and curiosity. Part of me wanted to turn and run, to escape this strange, suffocating place and return to the ordinary world I knew. But another part, a deeper, more insistent part, whispered that this was where I was meant to be. That this was my chance to uncover something extraordinary. Aside from the money. Taking a deep breath, I reached out and took the dagger from her. The metal was cold against my skin, but it seemed to hum faintly, as if it were alive. My hands trembled as I held it, then I glanced at Eliza one last time. "Is there no other way?" I murmured, my voice barely audible. She shook her head slowly. "This is the way it has always been," she mumbled. "The library chooses, but it also demands. The oath is not just a formality, it's a reminder of the responsibility you're taking on." I nodded, though I could feel my stomach churning. Steeling myself, I pressed the tip of the dagger against the palm of my hand. The pain was sharp but brief, and a single drop of blood welled up, glistening in the flickering light. Eliza gestured toward the bookshelf, and I reached out, letting the drop fall onto the spine of an ancient, leather-bound tome. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a low, resonant hum filled the air, and the bookshelf seemed to shimmer, the shadows around it deepening and shifting. The drop of blood vanished, as it was immediately absorbed into the book. I felt a sudden, inexplicable warmth spreading through me, like a sense of connection that I couldn't quite put into words. "It's done," Eliza mouthed softly, her voice filled with a strange mix of reverence and relief. "You're now bound to the library. Its secrets are yours to uncover, but its burdens are yours to bear as well." I looked down at my hand where the minor cut was, but it had already healed before me realizing it, leaving no pain and trace behind. The weight of what I had just done settled over me, heavy and undeniable. "What happens now?" I questioned, my voice shaking with apprehensions. Eliza placed a hand on my shoulder, her touch somewhat grounding me. "Now?" "We continue to the next rule," she muttered, then placed the tone where it was previously at before turning on her heels. She momentarily went silent. I gasped in anticipation of what she was about to say next. "Second rule, the Midnight Library opens at exactly 12 midnight and closes at 4 in the morning, not earlier and never later." Her words dangled, sharp and precise, like the ticking of a clock counting down to an unseen deadline. I blinked, trying to process what I just heard. "Wait," I stammered, my voice tinged with disbelief. "I know the library only opens at midnight, but closes at 4. Don't you think that's barely enough?" "I mean, that's only 4 hours. What if people needed more time for their research or study, or something else they needed to learn?" I huffed, unable to control my mouth from voicing my opinion. Eliza didn't say a word. She just laughed at me. "Oh, Mallorie, believe me, most of the Midnight Library's users don't need that much time to find what they're looking for." I felt puzzled at her remark. I wanted to dig deeper, but something in me was stopping me from furthering the strange rule, thinking I would know the answer I was looking for firsthand when I started my role as the library guardian. "Just to clarify, the entrance and exit accessible to the users will only be the one on a strict time schedule? Or should I be gone as well at exactly 4 a.m.? Like I should be out of this place before the clock ticked 4 o'clock? I felt like I needed to ask that. That's a good question," Eliza noted, pointing her point finger upward. I hesitantly zoomed in on her, waiting for a logical answer. But it didn't come, just as I expected. However, she stalled. "I am not very keen to answer that right now. So can we park that question in the meantime? It's not that I don't have the answer, but rather, I want you to find out about it, yourself." A shiver ran down my spine at her words. I frowned, but I didn't push the question further. Something told me that whatever the answer was, I would discover it soon enough, and that it might not be as simple as I hoped. Suddenly, Eliza's expression shifted, the teasing glint in her eyes was replaced by something more solemn. "Third rule," she continued, her voice quieter now, almost as if she feared someone, or something, might overhear. "The books in this library are not to be removed. Ever." I glanced at the towering shelves, the countless tomes neatly arranged yet pulsing with a strange energy. "Why?" I asked, my voice hushed without meaning to be. "Because they do not belong anywhere else," Eliza replied, her gaze steady. "Each book here holds knowledge that is bound to this place. Removing them upsets the balance, disturbs the order. And trust me, Mallorie, you do not want to see what happens when that order is broken." The way she said it made my skin prickle. I swallowed hard and nodded. "All right. No books leave the library." "Got it." Eliza gave a small, approving nod before turning and leading me deeper into the chamber. We moved past rows of ancient shelves, past reading tables adorned with flickering candles that never seemed to burn down. The deeper we went, the heavier the air became, thick with the weight of knowledge and unseen presences. After what felt like an eternity, Eliza stopped before a grand wooden desk. Its surface was polished to a mirror sheen, though scratches and indentations marred its edges, signs of centuries of use. Behind the desk was a high-backed chair, its leather already worn but still looked regal, as if it had seen the passage of countless guardians before me. "This," Eliza said, motioning toward the desk, "is where you will spend most of your time. Don't worry about the trainings whatsoever. I'm sure you will get the guidance you needed without even asking, and the books. Well, they have a way of finding those who seek them." I ran my fingers along the desk surface, feeling the pulse of something ancient beneath the wood. "And what exactly is my role?" I requested, feeling the need to know that specific thing which was still vague to me up until now. Eliza smiled, but there was something indistinct in her expression. "You are the guardian, Mallorie. You keep the balance, enforce the rules, and, most importantly, you listen. The library speaks in ways most do not understand. It whispers through the pages, through the rustling of parchment, through the hum of the walls. Just pay attention, and you will hear it." A flicker of doubt crept into my mind, but I quickly pushed it aside. I had made my choice and taken the oath already, so there was no turning back now. I was about to say something when Eliza faced me, abruptly, catching me off guard, causing me to hold my breath, but only for a moment. "Oh, and by the way, Archie and the others earlier will be your seniors, so please, get along with them." I nodded, though I wasn't sure how easy that would be. Archie and the others hadn't exactly given me the warmest welcome. Their stares had been measuring, almost wary, like I was something they weren't quite sure they could trust yet. Eliza seemed to catch the hesitation in my eyes and let out a soft chuckle. "Don't take it personally. They've been here longer, and they take their roles seriously. In time, they'll see your worth." Before I could respond, Eliza turned her back, but not in a hasty manner. I followed her without asking as she sauntered straight to the massive double wooden door in the farthest part of the library. I hitched as I realized something. My eyes have wandered around the area earlier, and I could have sworn there was no door in there. It was just a plain wall, painted in beige. But now, right before my eyes, stood a gigantic, wooden door. Its grain seemed to pulse faintly, as though it were alive. I wasn't sure if it was just a trick of the flickering sconces nearby, but I knew what I saw. Eliza stared at me. There was a hint of concern gleaming in her eyes. "What is it now?" I wanted to ask, but dare not to. "Fourth and most important rule," she stalled. I listened intently. "If someone tried to steal anything from this library, try your best to recover whatever it is, but be wise enough not to exit this door." A chill crawled up my spine. Not exit the door? What exactly did she mean by that? Eliza held my gaze, her expression unreadable. "No matter what happens," she continued, her voice softer now, "you must never cross this threshold with a stolen item in hand. The consequences," she hesitated, just for a fraction of a second, "are irreversible." My fingers twitched at my sides. "What happens if I do?" Eliza's lips pressed into a thin line. "Pray you never have to find out." Before I could press her further, she turned the handle and pushed the doors open. A slow, deep groan echoed through the vast space, as if the library itself disapproved of what lay ahead. Beyond the threshold, the air was different, thicker, heavier. The scent of old parchment and ink still lingered, but now, there was something else woven into it. A crispness, like the air before a storm. And at the center of it all, a single book hovered above a stone pedestal, its pages flipping wildly as if caught in an invisible wind. The energy radiating from it was undeniable. This is the gate where the library's visitors enter and leave. No guardian is allowed to go beyond these doors. She explained, although I didn't quite understand what she really meant by that. Her words were carefully chosen and cryptic. After a moment of silence, Eliza closed the doors. I was expecting a creaking sound of rustic hinges, but I heard nothing aside from the whimper of a strange wind coming from behind the double door before it was completely shut off. So, the word came out of me, flatly. So, she echoed with wrinkling forehead and a raised eyebrow. You mean what we're about to do now? She clarified. I wiggled my head in confirmation, though that wasn't exactly what I've been meaning to say. Eliza smiled at me solemnly. Then she glanced at her wristwatch, before darting her attention back at me. Well, since it's past 8 p.m., we'll eat dinner, then you rest before the clock strikes midnight.